Marlina, the Fearless Fairy. A Magical Fairy Tale by Svetlana Petrovic. Chapter 3. Winter has frozen the land. Every breath has turned into ice drops. Kobal and his army, the Gloms, have taken their prisoners to Glick Town. In the basement of the tower, Marlina and the elves were locked in a cold room. Kobal had left a high window open on purpose. He felt that if the prisoners froze to their bones, they would lose their strength and ultimately surrender their loyalty. Across the sea in Fairyland, Bobo and Mearl were trapped in the mountain beside the source of life. Bobo knew the secret of this water, so he grabbed a handful of water and spilled it over Mearl's face. He woke up puzzled. Mearl said, "What happened? Where are we?" "The Gloms trapped us here, in the source of life. The entrance is blocked. You passed out when Kobal threw the magic stone at your heart. He took Marlina and the elves to Glick Town," said Bobo. "I am so sad that we couldn't defeat Kobal. We must find a way out of here and help our friends." Mearl knew a secret exit. "We must jump into the source of life and swim to the exit. This is the only way out. I have something that will help us breathe under the water." Mearl took out a bulrush and they ate it. Then they jumped into the source of life, and after a while, they found themselves on the other side in the sea, near his cave. They went out and came to the cave where they dried. "Now, I have to plant the rainbow seeds. It will take a while to grow." Mearl took 10 jars and put a seed into each jar. He mixed a handful of soil from the forest, dew water and fairy dust. Perfect. Mearl came up with an idea. "We must go to Glick Town tonight to find some help. Bobo, you must go to the town galleries and call every witch and wizard to come to Fairyland. I will give you the key for their town. You have to hurry. Take this hourglass and find the wizard who made it. He will know exactly what to do." Bobo sat on a broom and traveled to galleries. It was a place hidden in the forest. When he arrived, he opened the door with the key that Mearl gave him and entered a town surrounded with high walls. Inside, there were hundreds of little houses with a big wizard hat on the roof. It was magical. He found the house of the wizard who made the hourglass. He knocked on the door, and after a few moments, an old man came out. He looked like a sandman, all covered in glittery golden sand. He looked at Bobo and asked, "Good day. How can I help you?" "Mearl from Fairyland had sent me to find you. We need your help. Come inside," said the wizard. Bobo stepped into his house and was surprised with the view inside. From outside the house looked small, but inside it was as if he entered a new universe. One side of the room was dark, like the night covered with countless silver stars, and on the other side, it was bright like a sunny day. He stood there and thought he was dreaming. Then the wizard spoke. "Take a seat, and tell me the story." "Well, our beautiful Fairyland has been destroyed. Our fairies have disappeared, only one has survived. Kobal and his army, the Gloms, came to our town and took our last fairy Marlina and the elves to Glick Town. She is our only hope, and we need the help from your disciples. Mearl is waiting for you. He said you would know what is to be done. I was expecting this day. Kobal's father was a pure evil man, and his son is following his steps." "Who has the hourglass?" "It's right here," said Bobo and gave him the hourglass. "That is a good sign. If Kobal had this, it would have been devastating. We must hurry. Who knows what Kobal will do with Marlina and the elves. However, one thing is for sure. This is war." Bobo shouted. "I understand. Let me call my disciples." They came out and then the wizard whistled. All his disciples came in front of him. "My dear witches and wizards, Fairyland is calling us for help. Kobal has raised, and it is time for us to fight against the dark evil army. Grab your brooms and sticks. We must hurry." They raised to the sky and fled to Fairyland. Mearl was waiting in front of his cave. "Greeting, my dear friends. Are you ready to fight this war? We must hurry." The sky was clear, and Kobal was looking outside his window, to the sea from his tower. He was not expecting any visit, and when he saw a flock like ravens in the sky, he panicked. "What is that? Who is visiting my mighty town?" said Kobal. An army of wizards and witches were flying on brooms entering his town. "I cannot believe this. Who sent them? Tell me, Gloms," yelled Kobal. "Your darkness, we have no idea," said the Gloms, frightened. "Quickly, guard my prisoners. Prepare for a war." The army of wizards lined up in front of the tower. Then they waited for Kobal to appear. Kobal was running like crazy and yelled at them. "What do you want?" "We want you, Kobal. Come out and fight, you coward. You have no idea how bad you will suffer. How dare you to come to my town like this?" said Kobal, and locked the door with a powerful spell. "Don't be silly, Kobal. This spell is easy even for babies." They combined their magic sticks and destroyed the door. Then they entered the tower and ran after him. In the meanwhile, Bobo went to the basement with the witches to find Marlina and the elves. Marlina and the elves were sitting in the prison. They heard some crowd coming closer to them. The Gloms panicked and ran away to fight with the witches. In this crowd, Bobo succeeded to pass through the Gloms, and he came to the prison door. Marlina was surprised. "We came to release you," said Bobo. He took a magic stick from a witch and opened the door with a spell. "Run quickly. It is a mess outside. Kobal and our army of wizards are in the middle of a war." The elves joined the witches in the battle against the Gloms. Marlina and Bobo went outside the tower to plan their next move. Bobo said to her, "Marlina, Mearl is convinced that this is the right time, where you will find your powers. He said that you must look into your heart and listen to your inner voice." "How can I do that? I am afraid that Kobal is ready to kill me. I don't know if I am strong enough to face him again." "Marlina, don't be weak. You will grow. Just find the courage inside of you. There is no place for fear right now. Focus on your goal. When you face it, you will get your power." "I will try. I hope that this time I will know what to do. Last time I really blew it." Bobo nodded. "No, Marlina. It was hard. Nevertheless, we have recovered. I believe in you, just be brave." Marlina and Bobo took a moment to collect her strength, and then they went inside the tower to face Kobal. In their recovery, it became clear that they are soldiers. Bobo grabbed the first Glom, jumped on his neck, and started tickling him. The Glom could not find the way to release from the silly monkey, so he laughed and cried at the same time. Marlina found Kobal hiding under a big table. She knew it was now or never, so she focused on his horns and ran to hit him behind his back. He fell on his stomach, and then she jumped on his horns and shouted to the peak of her voice, "Surrender, Kobal, or I will break your horns." Kobal shouted out loud, "Do not even dare. I will smash you like a fly." Kobal raised his hands to catch Marlina. At that moment, she closed her eyes and her wings pulled her high in the air. When she realized that she is flying, Marlina cried with joy. "My wings are back. I can fly like a bird." Marlina laughed out loud. Marlina got a new power, a high speed. She was testing her limits as she was flying around the tower like a comet. Kobal was shocked. He didn't know what to do. He ran to catch her, but with her speed, he could not even keep his eyes on her direction. She was full of self-confidence. This gave her energy to hit Kobal in his weakest spots. She fled around him, and every time he looked at her, she poked him in the eye. Kobal was shouting like crazy. You are so annoying, I will go crazy. Stop, you stupid mosquito. Never. You made me hurt last time, now it is my time to show you pain. This is not hurting me. It makes me only feel dizzy. You don't have the power to give pain. Only I have it, and I will show it to you. Come here. Well, I am saving the best for the end. Just be patient. What are you performing? I don't like circus shows. I will make a trampoline out of you when I catch you. My Gloms will jump on you until you break. Marlina giggled. Oh, you found the first hint of my performance. Prepare for the solution. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, crack. Marlina broke his horns. Oh, my horns. It hurts. Kobal was yelling like a monster. Kobal screamed out of pain. What did you do, you ugly dirty fly? You broke my horns? You will regret this. Kobal ran outside the tower and disappeared in the night. Gloms accepted the defeat. They didn't dare to move. The wizards captured them. However, a dark cloud came inside the tower and took away the Gloms, and they disappeared with the wind and the unknown. Bobo giggled. Well, Marlina, how did you do that? Marlina. I felt my hidden power inside my soul when Kobal wanted to hit me. I was frightened, but something inside me was stronger than my fear. Bobo. Where did Kobal and the Allens disappear? Marlina. This is really a mystery. We have to search the whole town. Witches and the wizards went to search Crick Town. After a few hours, they came back and said, we didn't find anything. Kobal and the Gloms disappeared like dust. No one knows what happened after you broke his horns. Nevertheless, one thing we are sure, this is not over. We are sure that Kobal will be back. In the meanwhile, we must go back to Fairyland and discuss this with Mearl and our wizard. They sat on their brooms and zoom. They traveled back to Fairyland and came to Mearl to tell him everything what happened. Mearl said, Marlina, I am glad that you found your power. Your wings saved you at the right moment. This means that you are ready to explore deeper knowledge of yourself. Marlina said, I didn't know what that meant until that moment with Kobal. I'm ready now. Indeed. Kobal won't give up. I think that this is just the calm before a storm. We must prepare. I am not sure what the consequences of his broken horns are, but it is obvious that he is angrier than ever. I am afraid. No one knows where they disappeared. What should we do now? Mearl advised. We have to wait. However, I have a new task for you. Fairy dust will take you to a magical place. Back to the light where all around you will be shadows. You can do it, believe in yourself, said Mearl, and spilled a jar full of fairy dust over Marlina. Where do I find them? Will I see them? Asked Marlina. You have to use the hourglass to see them. Turn it to the moon and you will see their shadows, said Mearl, and gave her the hourglass. Can they speak to me? They can hear you, but they cannot speak until they get back their fairy dust. You have to pick their shadows and bring them back to Fairyland. You will find them in the magic forest, far away from Fairyland. You must fly south from here until you see the big forest. In the middle of the forest, there is a castle surrounded with high fences. 2 queens are guarding the entrance door. They are holding the keys. They will ask you some questions that you have to answer. If the answers are correct, they will let you in. How will I know the answers? I don't know anything. Only a true fairy can answer these questions. You know them from your birth. Don't worry. You will be surprised of your knowledge. I hope you are right. Okay, I will go now. See you soon. Marlina rose to the sky and fled above the sea. She passed through many towns, that she did not even know they exists. Then she saw it. Above the forest, there was a huge waterfall, falling from the biggest cloud. On the bottom of the waterfall, there was the forest surrounding the biggest land she has ever seen. She pushed herself down to the lowest point of the sky, right above the trees. She was flying around for hours, and finally saw the hidden castle. She came to the gates and saw the two queens, just as Mearl said. The queens were dressed in beautiful ball dresses, made from rose petals. Between them stood a mirror. The queen on the left smiled and spoke to Marlina. "Welcome to the Kingdom of Shadows. Our Highness, the Queen of White, Rose Ella on my right, and I am the Queen of Purple, Roses Lee. What is your name?" "I am Marlina from Fairyland, Your Highness." Marlina bowed. "Come closer and look at the mirror. It will show you your past." Marlina looked at the mirror and saw the fairyland before she was born. She saw few fairies dancing around a rainbow flower and singing a song that was just like the one she heard from the magic flute. She was surprised with that. The fairies were gently hugging the flower and she felt something warm around her heart as if they were hugging her. After that, the picture disappeared. "The flower is you, Marlina, my darling. These are your relatives. I saw the love in your heart as you were watching it. Do you want to see them again?" "I didn't know that. It is the most beautiful thing I ever felt." "Where are they?" "You have to pass a test in order to meet them. You have to win 3 parts of a key that will open the gates. Are you ready?" "Yes, I am." Marlina wanted to see them with her whole heart. "Here are 2 flowers, a lily and a sunflower. Burn the one which is the symbol of pride. If you choose the right flower, you will get the first part." Marlina was thinking, and she decided to burn the sunflower. It was the right one. Then she had to explain why she picked it. She said, "The sunflower head is higher than any other flower. It faces only to the sun, which shows that he doesn't care about anything else but his position." "Very good, Marlina. Here is the first part. Now, the second test. What is the only flower that fairies cannot eat?" "It is the narcissus flowers. Because if we eat, it will turn us evil." "Correct. Here is the second part. The last question. Do fairies have a mother?" "No, we only have godmothers. If we had a mother, we would be mortal." "Correct. Marlina, you have proved that you are a true fairy. The right answers have given you the full key to enter our kingdom. Enjoy our beautiful land." Marlina entered the Kingdom of Shadows. It was a place where the houses were made of mushrooms and trees. However, it looked like no one is living there. She remembered that she had to use the hourglass to see the fairies. It was a time between the day and night, so she couldn't see the shadows yet. She walked around until the moon showed up. Then she saw hundreds of shadows dancing around the kingdom. She took the hourglass and raised it to the moon. It filled with a powerful light. She carried the hourglass like a lantern. Around her appeared the fairies one by one. She looked at them and said, "Hello, I am Marlina. I came from Fairyland. I know that you cannot answer me, but I have to tell you that I am here to take you all back to Fairyland." The fairies were scared. They run and hide behind the trees. She didn't know what scared them, so she said, "Please, don't run away. I am your little sister. I was born on the night the wave destroyed the Fairyland. I really need you all. Please come back." The fairies felt her sadness and came back to hug her. She almost cried out of happiness. "I cannot describe how happy I am to see you all. I thought that I am the only fairy, but now I am so happy to see all of you, and I feel much stronger than before. Will you please follow me to the Fairyland?" The fairies happily followed Marlina back to their hometown.